Hello. Hello, guys. Hello, everyone. Welcome. How are you today? Good evening. Hello, everyone. Hello, how are you doing? Yes, it's Mayowa, but Dr. Sunday will be with you shortly, guys. So no panic, anyone. Not that you would do, but don't panic. Dr. Sunday will be with you. How are you today? Let me just see. I can't see properly, so I'm still setting this camera. Hello, good evening. Good evening, everyone. How are you today? Good evening. Yes, it's a lot better. Hello, everyone. Good evening. How are you? Thank you for joining. I hope everyone is doing fine. It's going to be an interesting one. We've got a guest today, so I hope you guys will be joining us. So please share this with as many people as possible. We have a very, well, should I say, young lady with us. I know you've seen her. No. You've seen her already. You can see her through the camera, and we are going to discuss the Libya a challenge. Well, not the challenge itself, but the problems that we're having in Libya today. This is somebody that actually has put some information up, preferring solutions to the problems, because we have a form out there. So if you're also interested, there's a form out that you can actually complete to tell us your what you think or what you can prefer as a solution for Libya. So we are on YouTube already. We're on YouTube, so we're also on Facebook already. Guys, please share this with as many people as possible. We love it when you share, because then more people will see this, and also more people would also contribute to this discussion. Hello, good evening, Adebule. Hello, thank you for joining. Please share. If you're on YouTube already, guys, it's very easy to share on YouTube. All you need to do is to go to your share icon, and then you would see various platforms in which you can share on YouTube. So please do so immediately. That would be great. So thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for joining. And so if you're on Facebook already, Facebook, I'm very familiar with Facebook. So I know how it's done on Facebook. All you need to do is click your share icon, and that will go onto your page. You can also write a share comment, so you can share with a comment and put a comment and go onto your page as well. But there are various other ways as well, and two more ways that I know is by inviting your friends and family. So I would urge you to please do so. Invite your friends and family. This is a matter that concerns all of us. It's not just a few people. You might not have family members or relatives that are in these atrocities or that are affected by these atrocities, but that's no reason for us not to look for solution and ensure that this does not happen again in the future. I'm actually surprised. No, it's not even a surprise. I think surprise is putting it lightly. I am ashamed. I'm embarrassed. Name it. I am shocked to find out that in 2017, and I heard actually from other people that this has been happening for some time, but in 2017, we are seeing slavery still being mentioned as something that is happening in our world, in our time. So this is a really pivotal point. We really need to discuss and prefer the solutions for everybody, not just for those people that are affected. Hello, Happy, good evening, how are you? Thank you for joining. So I appreciate everybody that's joined already. Please share with as many people as possible. Share with your friends and family so that they can also join. So I'm going to say hello to a few people that I can see already on Facebook. We have David, May. Hello, May. How are you doing? We have Jennifer, Mike. Those are the three people that I can see, but I know there are more people, so please join us. Dr. Sunday will be joining in a few minutes. When he's not here, you guys already know that he's in a meeting and he all is in the court. So when he comes, he will tell you where he is. He's quite transparent already. He will tell you exactly what has been happening and where it's been. So guys, share this. And actually, this is what we're discussing. It's a good time to actually talk about the Libya challenge now. This is the poster, should I say, or I don't know. It's not a placard. It's just like an A4 poster to support the Libya challenge. I'm not sure if you can see it clearly, but we're doing this challenge, which is their $1 challenge. And this challenge is to help each other, to donate something, to support, to encourage, actually, should I use, encourage each other to donate for the Libya challenge. We want to raise $1 million, and we know we can do it. And Dr. Sunday has already said that if we want to meet the target, he is also going to match the amount. So really, we're looking at $2 million just like that. And all of us can do something. We know every little helps. It doesn't matter how much you have or how much you can contribute. Just put it out there and ask other people to join you. So what we do with the challenge is you would take a picture of yourself, or you would do a video, and you would say, I have just donated for the $1 Libya challenge, and I would like you to join me and participate. You nominate the name or the person to join you for this Libya challenge. So here it is, $1 Libya challenge, and you can go to GoFundMe Libya One challenge. That's GoFundMe/Libya One challenge to donate as little or as much as you can. So don't stress about it in terms of, I don't have a lot. Even if you don't have a lot, every little that you have would help somebody, and we would actually use this to help the Libya, those people that are affected by this Libya atrocities. What the plans are is that professionals, people that have the skills, that are volunteered already, they would be actually using their time, investing their time to support the Libya people. They don't need the money. It's only directed at the people that have the challenge, not Libya people, the people that have been affected by the Libyan slavery. So in Nigeria, so we're starting from Nigeria, we're going to set up a camp, you're going to set up an academy for them to be trained and skilled, so that they wouldn't consider in the future that they will do something like this. If they're comfortable where they are, or they are living the life that they should be living, they wouldn't be going to Libya or going anywhere else. So we want to ensure that this doesn't happen, and we know also that there would be psychological effects already of this, and we don't want a time bomb in the future. So we have to start to put together a solution, and to do that we do need money. So every little help. Just please join the Libya One challenge. Encourage your friends and your family also to join, nominate them, do a video, because it's fun when you do that. Do you remember the bucket challenge? You nominate people and you tell them that I want so I want you to join me in this challenge. And it's always interesting to do so. So that Sunday is here, right? So it's just going to come in a few minutes. But in the meantime, I've been talking for a few minutes now, so I think that we should have our guest say hello to you, because she's been patient, actually, not saying anything. So you can introduce yourself, Ma, but I'm sure that Dr. Sunday is also going to ask you to introduce yourself. But in the meantime, please do introduce yourself.
Thank you very much, Mayowa.
Thank you.
For that extensive brighter light on Libya One challenge.
Thank you.
At least $1.
Yes.
I appreciate that very much, because from your own end, you've taken some steps to address the problem.
Yes.
Well, I want to introduce myself as a young lady, as you said.
I like that.
Of close to 75 years of age.
Wow.
But that notwithstanding, my passion has been towards giving hope to the displaced. And that runs through my career. Well, I'm a retired professor of geography, University of Ibadan. My main discipline is geography. But then I've been a fellow in institutes that handle conflict resolution, peace, and refugee flows.
Wow.
I also taught the course on migration in my department, and I've had affiliations with institutes and other departments too. At one time, I handled the seminar for criminology in psychology in my faculty. And also, I'm still a fellow in the Institute of African Studies that handles Peace and Conflict Studies, and also in the CEPAC section of PIT, Center for Peace and Conflict Studies.
Yeah.
So, and I've had very interesting students from the different cadres, security, and I quite enjoyed many of them. Many of them are also on peace making courses. I have one in Sudan, South Sudan.
Okay.
Also with the UN. Okay. So I feel, and since I retired, my interest has also been on this from another perspective, which I will discuss later on.
Brilliant. Well done, Ma. That was brilliant. You know, you've said a lot already, and Dr. Sunday is here. I think he'll pick it up from here. You know, the wealth of your knowledge and, you know, experience. We really want to get to know you and also have more discussion with you on this matter. So I'll hand over to Dr. Sunday.
Thank you. Thank you, Maiwa, for standing in for me. Hello, Ma.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, well, it's a busy day, but we thank God that I get to meet you and get to have this meeting and opportunity to get to know you. How are you doing, Ma?
Fine, thank you.
Now, I'm sure you have spoken about yourself a little bit while I was coming in. I was out all day today, so just rushing in to make it, but I was a little bit late, nevertheless. Yeah, so can we get acquainted all over again? I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, I introduced myself first from the point of age, that I'm a young lady.
Okay.
70 to 71 years old.
Wow.
A retired professor of geography at the University of Ibadan. Also a fellow in some other institutes in the department, in the university. But basically my discipline is geography. And I've handled courses on migration.
You don't look 70 at all. You look 55.
Thank you very much. The grace of God. Okay. But then I call my ladies young ladies.
Who are your ladies? Who do you call your ladies?
So many of them. My students,
okay,
my sisters, and so on. So I call them young ladies. So my experience has spanned over some departments and institutes that handle migration issues. As I said, I was one time a coordinator for the Department of Psychology on criminology. So I had bruises with security personnel, okay, who came to study that and how to handle such courses. But then it was for a brief period.
So all these issues about Libya, they should really be close to your heart, because you know it borders on criminality, it borders on justice, it borders on immigration, it borders on international affairs, it borders on sociology, it borders on psychology. So it touches on all these areas that you have that you've had life experiences.
Yes. So that's what I'm saying. And my write-ups had also been focused on internal and international migrations.
Right.
Okay. I was a national expert for International Organization for Migration on migration in Nigeria, the profile, the country profile. Yep. Then I had worked with the EU itself on internal and international migration, and also with MacArthur on internal and international migration of traders in Nigeria. Then I've worked with France on international migration, territorial composition, and development within southwest Nigeria's borderland.
Right.
The late 2000 2006 to 2009. The one for IOM was between 2005 and 2009, and the document is on the internet. It's available.
Right.
Then I've worked with, as I said, MacArthur Foundation on Nigeria, Dynamics of International Migration in Nigeria, funded by MacArthur Foundation. 3 of us wrote up the paper. Also, I've had, worked in a research network, National Migration Research Network on Africa, NOMRA, on institutional framework for the management of migrants, data, and information in Africa.
Before we begin to go further into the discussion, especially about Libya and all the current affairs, I want to ask you and more personal question and more challenging question or more intriguing question for me.
Okay.
What inspired you or made you to study geography? Because I never knew that geography covered all these areas you just mentioned. Because when I was in high school or A levels or high school in Nigeria, geography is something like nobody wanted to study. But if anybody wants to go there, it will be a man. So what is it that instigated you to study geography?
Thank you very much for that question. Actually, I got the interest right from my secondary school days. I schooled in Lagos, Reagan Memorial Baptist High School, Girls High School. And towards my 3rd year, we had a teacher who would just come to the class and say, take out your piece of paper, number 1 to 10. It was objective. And each time she gave us the objective test, I scored 100. And that made me to read, to go to a small library on the campus to read more, because at that time it's all about the whole world, the capitals. So the scores were quite encouraging. So that motivated me to pursue it. So by the time I got to my HSC...
can you move a little bit to the, is it to the right? That way. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
All right.
Yes.
So by the time I got to my high school certificate level at ADEJUMOKE Grammar School, I had...
ADEJUMOKE Grammar School, that's where I come from.
I know. So it's nice meeting you off jobs. So we were very few in the higher school tier of the institution. We were just the few girls staying with the late Reverend, how to call it, E.A. and Oshisoya.
Oshisoya, yeah.
Yes. It was at that time. So I don't know when you were there.
No. I was not. I didn't go to ADEJUMOKE Grammar School. I'm just saying I'm from ADEJUMOKE. Not just
yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm from Ojogolu.
Oh, yeah. That's all our Ijebu area there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, so my combination was...
but I normally present myself from Idomila because my father is from Ijebu, but my mother is from Idomila, but I grew up in Idomila. You should have heard of Idomila. It's very close to Ijebu there.
I know, one of those small
villages, yeah.
Okay, it's quite okay. So my combination was history, geography, and so it was also geography. And then I was the only lady in the class.
Ooh.
So if I were to score anything less, then I would be coming behind the men. So I aim at doing my very best.
You wanted to lead the pack.
Oh, yes. And I had my role model in the Bible, Joseph. Whatsoever Joseph did, the Lord blessed.
Yes.
So I said, if you don't do anything, 0 times 100 is 0.
Yeah.
But if you put in something, it will multiply.
So hello, man. Just a minute. Let me address our viewers, the people who are watching us, and I want to challenge them to go ahead and share this message because it's going to be a very interesting conversation we are going to be having with Professor ADEJUMOKE. Well, anybody that is listening to me right now, please, if you're on Facebook, go share the Facebook message. If you are on YouTube, go share the link. Let's share, let's go and share the message as much as possible and as fast as possible. Like I said, I was away in court today. The whole day I was in court because I'm fighting this battle with the Ukrainian government to clear my name of all the rumors and the scandals and the lies they put out against me there in the internet. So I'm clearing my name. So that's why I'm not coming to Nigeria yet. For those people who are asking from Nigeria, I'm in court here. But today is going to be about Libya. We want to discuss what we can do to help the Libya. Have you spoken about the Libya situation? Okay. What we can do to help our brethren in Libya and to be able to gather some money to also settle them back in Nigeria once they are back home. So I have Professor Reverend ADEJUMOKE AFOLAYAN here with me. And I'm very intrigued, first of all, about many things. So I think we are going to be learning a lot from her. She is from Nigeria. She's based in Nigeria, but she's right now in the US. So I think we can learn, first of all, from how she's over 70 and she's looking like almost my age, so like 50 something. So I'm intrigued about that. Then for her to have studied geography and a professor in that area, so a lot of things I would like to know from her. Yes, ma. We stopped at you telling us about the, when you were in the secondary school before you went to the university, right? Or you were already in the university?
Yes.
Okay.
No, up to my HSC level.
Yes.
So the motivating factor was mainly that I was the only lady in the class. And if I were to score anything less, I would tail behind the men. So
right.
I aimed at...
Yes, go ahead, man.
Yes, I aimed at being the first in the class. So again, I had a very interesting teacher who handled our geography. And that he also motivated me to read beyond his own delivery in the class.
Right.
So that also helped me in scoring very high at the end of that course. So I gained admission into the University of Ibadan, 1967.
What,
1970.
Okay. How many of you are in the faculty? What faculty was that?
The Faculty of the Social Sciences.
Okay, it was the Faculty of Social Sciences. So there was no faculty like geography?
No, it's a department of geography under the Faculty of the Social Sciences.
All right.
Yeah. So, and I was also the only major geography student.
You are the only one?
Yes, we had others from education, but then I was the only one.
Majoring?
In my set. So anyway.
So you are used to being unique and being a standout.
Well, we thank God. Thank God.
You are used to that all your life.
I think so, maybe. I think so. Anyway, so that's how the journey started. And by the time I had my undergraduate degree, okay, I was challenged. It's a long story. Anyway, maybe we'll come to it. Anyway, I was challenged by the advice that the lecturers gave me to be very sure of the person I would marry, that you would want an academic lady as a wife. And by that time, I didn't have any stable person to say whether he would prefer an academic lady. Anyway, I prayed about it and then I went ahead to start my postgraduate course in the university. So, and the Lord helped while in my postgraduate course, I met the person I now marry.
He was doing his own postgraduate as well?
No, he had finished. We finished at the same time, June 1970.
Right.
And then he went into the Ministry of Agriculture. He studied forestry.
So he didn't continue.
No, he didn't continue.
And he was not frightened that you are academic, you are doing your PhD?
Maybe you are getting so much from me today. Anyway, he wasn't frightened because I met him after I started the postgraduate course. And when we got married, 2 years, no, we got married a year after I started my postgraduate, I think. And he had a scholarship to study forestry in Canada,
yes.
British Columbia.
Yes.
So he went for his master. That's another thing, because my parents thought probably he was from the upper part of Yoruba land, and he wasn't in research. But as I told you, we started on a young level, okay? He wasn't in research then. But meanwhile, later on, he got scholarship to study forestry, master's at University of Columbia, okay, of
British Columbia.
So
yeah.
He was away 10 days after our wedding, yes.
So he traveled and you were left back in Nigeria?
Exactly. So I've had so many episodes of migration, one way or the other.
So how long did he stay over there without you?
2 years. 2 years.
And he came back 2 years later to meet you?
Exactly.
And you were finishing your PhD at that point?
Exactly. And I was carrying our first baby by the time I graduated in 1976.
Wow. So he came back to meet you pregnant, or you had already delivered?
No, nothing like that, because of our conviction. So nothing like that before marriage.
No, I'm saying when he traveled, you had been married 10 days.
Yes.
So he came back. When he was arriving back, you had delivered, or you are not?
No. I was still on research. I started forming a family, in terms of childbearing.
Okay.
So by the time I finished my PhD, I was carrying my first pregnancy.
Yeah, I see.
That's what I mean.
So the pregnancy came after he arrived?
Exactly.
Okay.
Not posted.
Okay.
Anything.
So were you strong believers that time, or what?
Oh, yes. I got to know Christ in my secondary school days.
Ah.
I got to know, at Reagan. I've already introduced myself, but I schooled in Reagan Memorial Baptist High School.
Yeah, Reagan, but that doesn't, was it a born-again church? I mean, born-again school?
Oh, yes. Every day, blessed day, the first lesson is the chapel session.
Yeah, but many schools did that, but that didn't really mean they knew Christ. Some of them were Catholics, some of them were just religious.
This one, yes, it depends on the move of the Holy Spirit.
Okay.
Yes. So I joined Reagan in my primary 6, I think. That was really what gave me the edge, because I came from Abeokuta, but I joined Reagan primary section. So with the school,
and your husband got saved also in secondary school?
After I got to the university. Well, he was also trained by the Baptist at Olivet Heights Baptist School.
Is he still alive? Is your husband still alive?
Very much around here.
He's with you right there?
He's here with me.
Wow.
Yes.
Are you about the same age mate?
He's 2 years older.
He's 2 years older. Now, Afolayan is a popular... Sorry?
What? Reverend Ademola Ami Afolayan.
Wow. Now, Afolayan is a very known and very accomplished name in Nigeria. What is what Afolayan? Is it the same family, or it's like Adelaja that we have so many Adelajas everywhere, or this is the same Afolayan?
This one, we have the guru of the family as Professor Adebisi Afolayan.
Right.
Yes. He is also a retired professor. He will be about 87 years old by December 19th.
And
still,
wow.
So, and we've had so many PhD, doctorate holders in that line. So that's another story entirely.
But the Afolayans, are they from Oyo town or where are they from?
Oh, no, they are from Iresi.
Iresi, that's in Oyo State.
Oluwaduro local government area. Beyond Ikirun.
All right, yeah.
Yes, Iresi.
Now,
you have come across them.
I've come across a lot of them. There are so many. A lot of Afolayans.
Exactly.
Yes. Now, but I have a question for you though. Mama, you are 70, going to 72, and your husband is going to 74.
Going to 71.
Now, 71. You're going to 71, and your husband going to 73. You're 74.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Now, the question that I will have for you, because I'm not just a pastor, I'm a journalist as well. So the question I will ask for you is this. When Wole Soyinka was 70 years old, or before he was 70 actually, maybe when he was 50, I guess, when he was 50, he said, his generation is a lost generation. And that's because the dream that he had when he was coming back to Nigeria after independence was totally different from what he has got. I listened to him recently where he was also saying that at 80-something, he has not seen the Nigeria he dreamt of, and he knew he would never see it again. So because he would never see the Nigeria he thought he was going to see, he said his generation is a wasted generation, even though he has personal accomplishment. But that personal accomplishment, he said, is not satisfactory enough for him to leave. Yeah, for him to leave Nigeria and to leave his continent is not a succor enough for him. I want to ask you, you are telling me about your secondary school years, primary school years, and everything, that I'm sure you are full of a lot of zeal. For you to have been the only lady to study in your department and major in geography, and for you to, have studied and struggle with the men, compete with them, be the best students, and, what were you doing all that for? Was that all for personal accomplishment, or you dreamt of doing something, of making a difference for Nigeria and for the world? Or did you ever dream or consider making a difference at large, or it was all for personal gain?
Thank you very much. I raised my role model.
Now, my sister, I would like you again to move again back to the other side a little bit. Okay, no, it's too much now. Too much. Just in the middle. Yes, now it's good.
All right. So I said my role model has been Joseph.
Yes.
The Bible, the biblical Joseph.
Yeah.
That's in spite of his circumstances, he had to do something. He had a dream of what it would be to be able to salvage his family.
Right.
Okay. And that motivated him, but he had to do something.
Okay.
So motivated me to press on that I must, do something to really be the best.
Okay.
And that because of what I would say was my label at Djibouti Grammar School.
What did they call you?
Okay, I was involved in the student Christian movement.
All right.
SCM.
Yes.
And for anyone to say I had been going to so many meetings, they know me to be an SCM lady, and for me to now have a taint on that name, I thought shouldn't do credit to the Lord. So that really was the motivator.
Now, what will you say about what Wole Soyinka had said, and about your age and the state of Nigeria right now?
Okay. Now, what he said is to some extent true, lost generation, because of people not striving for the very best, because of people thinking that they could have it somewhere else Whereas where you are, you can make a difference.
Well, did you have a dream of a better Nigeria when you were younger? Or you didn't notice that you are older right now?
Yes, I have a dream that if we really inculcate in our students the dignity of work, if they can also think independently as to what they can do with what we teach them, it's basic, okay? As you said, geography is the mother of all sciences, okay? They know me as Mama Africa. I handle the course on Africa. It's a regional study, geography study on Africa. But it's not just studying places or whatever it is. It's studying the continent in such a way that we can make a difference. So at the start of my course, that used to be the motivator, that there are not just to depend on lecture notes, but to go and read.
But why is it that generation of Nigerians have not made a difference? Why is it that your generation of Nigeria has not been able to do well and build a greater Nigeria? Is Nigeria better now than it used to be when you were 30 years old, or Nigeria is worse now than you used to be when you were younger?
It depends on the angle from which you are looking at it.
Okay, let's take academics. Let's take academics, where you belong.
Yes. When I had most of my lectures in the 70s, 80s, 90s, we didn't have the tool, okay, that we cut across so many. But by the time I was retiring, okay, we had established geographic information system, which, okay, really brought out the luster in studying geography, because it's a tool that cuts across all the disciplines, because everything we do is within space. So when we relate space to the other disciplines, biology, geology, medicine, okay, you are studying the environment. You are studying it with a view to make it sustainable. And so those who go ahead to have that as a tool, a discipline within my own department, okay, know the importance of geography.
So you believe that educationally, and especially in the area of geography, things are better in Nigeria right now than it used to be?
It should be better, because we have everything that it takes. But then we don't have the cadre of students who are zealous to go beyond what they could have within 1 hour of lecture. So that's the difference. We have all that it takes to make Nigeria better.
Okay, then let me ask you another question. You are a teacher.
Yes.
So, and you have graduated a list or myriad list of graduates that you are telling the same thing. You are telling them to go beyond the obvious, the ordinary, the minimums, and you are talking to them about the dignity of labor. Why is it that they have not done what you taught them?
I think it's because of change of attitude.
Okay.
Their perspective of life. They want it quick.
Okay.
Whereas when we were in research, you do so much. I had so many surveys for many of these papers. I had my data from the primary source, mostly, because the data are not there. So that's why I went to ADEJUMOKE, went to Burkina Faso, Conakry, so many within Africa, and also had links with donors too. But then you have to really prove that research is something that you can do independently, corporately, towards achieving a goal.
Beautiful. Now let's talk about this Libya situation. What are your solutions, man?
Okay. Well, I have something written. If you want me to present it.
Yes. Only I would like you to move again to the middle.
To the middle.
Yes, that way. Yeah, that's right. That's good.
Okay. Well, I had something written, and I thought that would be the main thing today. So
yes, please.
how much time you have.
No, we do. We do have time.
You have time.
We have about 30 more minutes, yeah.
All right. So I'll briefly go through some. Well, I captured it, the Libya slave trade, my input.
Yes.
As a way of introduction, or I just give you the outline in case I may not finish.
Yes, go ahead, please.
The outline I have is that you expect me to have an input.
Yes.
Based on my knowledge of the Libya slave trade. So I'm going to give you the input as a solution.
Okay.
That's my introduction.
Okay.
Then I go to the main body of the paper. The Libya slave trade, its genesis, operation, awareness, and what is being done to terminate it. Then I go into my input.
Okay.
Solution. Redemption, by whom, by what means, and its expected outcome. Resettlement, repatriation, resettlement, relocation, rehabilitation. So that's what really I want to present.
Beautiful.
Okay. So can I go on?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, please.
As a way of introduction, the Libya slave trade is the talk of the town in recent times. It has come to the surface and is denounced in the highest form of language, horrific. The world is being sensitized to the dehumanized state of the victims that are trapped in the failed state of Libya.
Yeah.
The world is being awakened, as it were, to doing something to terminate it. How, when, by whom, and what will be the expected outcome are questions that agitate the mind of individuals, mine inclusive.
Right.
Now to come to the specific situation. The following questions form the basis of my input. What is the scenario? Who are to be the players in resolving the crisis? And what are the strategies to adopt?
Yeah.
Now I go on to the scenario. The Libya slave trade is not new. What makes it topical and recent is the exposure of its scale and nature of occurrence. As write up by Amnesty International of December 12, 2017, that's just 3 days ago, or 2 days ago, captions, Europe complicit in Libya abuses. This is a practice of merchandise that has been going on for quite a relatively long period of time, dating back to the days of Muammar Gaddafi, if not earlier. Or why would Gaddafi and his country qualify as the receiving or collaborating country to aid Europe ward off migrants that were besieging its gates? The agreement with Libya during Gaddafi's reign, 2008 to 2011, did not allow anyone to get into the detention centers to check conditions, which were, as of that time, described horrific by those detained there. The situation has not abated, but has been compounded and escalating as of recent time. In a new Amnesty report titled Libya's Dark Web of Pollution, December 12, 2017, the authors charged that the EU member states, and Italy in particular, have tried to keep migrants from crossing the Mediterranean with little thought or seeming care for the consequences for those trapped in Libya as a result, in quotes. And just as any nation would do, Libyan law criminalizes irregular entry, stay, and exit, but it lacks any judicial oversight of the detention process and the near total impunity with which officials operate. This has facilitated the institutionalization of torture and other ill treatment in detention centers, according to the report. Furthermore, in the more recent agreement of February 3rd, 2017, the European Union agreed to pay Libya's government of national accord, GNA, to keep refugees from arriving in Italy. Instead, they were to put them in detention camps in Libya. The signed agreement of February 3rd provides for Italy to pay 220 million euro, or the equivalent of $236 million, to the Libyan coastal guards and provide training to help them catch the vessels, primarily rubber dinghies. Italy and the EU pledged to finance migrant camps in Libya, which are run by the UN-backed government as part of a wider EU drive to stem immigration from Africa. From all this, one can deduce the flaws and implications of the agreements, in particular, the institutional framework for managing the refugee flows. The main point is that the Italian-Libyan agreement says the camps where migrants will stay until they are deported or they voluntarily agree to return to their country of origin would be managed by the Libyan Interior Ministry. And secondly, the splinter nature of the managers, the Libyan Serraj government, has its own internal crisis. It has been struggling to establish control amid the chaos that followed the overthrow of Muammar Gaddafi in 2011. As a result of the latter, there have been many other allied militias that run migrant detention centers, many of which have been compared to concentration camps. It is therefore no wonder why there are many gory stories of dehumanized treatment of refugees, asylum seekers, and the trafficked that are caught in the web of the crisis. We would not do justice to the topic if we were to stop at the two players, Libya and the EU, without looking deeply at the perpetrators of the refugee, asylum seekers, and or the traffic flows. The perpetrators are all over Africa and the Middle East. To come nearer home, the sub-Saharan Africa, in particular Nigeria. The question is, what are the motivating factors of the flow or the flows? The answer spans insecurity, failed economy, imagined fear, ill-perceived way out, deception, famine, and whatnot. Many of these factors have worked singly or in unison to create the almost unending flow towards countries perceived to be better than the place of origin. Again, another question. Why, other questions, why and how has Libya become the main conduit for the flow? Some answers have put it as the porosity of its border, absence of the central authority and central army in Libya that have turned it into a smuggling center and a transit point for migrants who are on their way from Africa to Europe, and the agreement to which Libya has been a signatory. The result has been the escalating volume of deported, rescued, and detained migrants in Libya over the years, the statistics of which are at best guesswork, of between 400,000 and 1 million victims. Nonetheless, some EU member states, in particular, Italy, feel the agreement is working, with the number of arrivals on their shores decreasing at least. But then, the question is, at whose cost or expense? The plan or agreement has been described as the most callous indicator of European leaders, as it infringes on human rights, votes at sea, and return migrants to deplorable centers in the crisis-hit country, not to talk of the risk on the sea, among others. Now we come to the players. Who are the players, and what are their strategies in resolving the crisis? The main players are at varied levels: individuals, communities, international and national bodies. Let me start with the international body.
Please, I would like to talk to all our viewers. Please go and share this message, because this is very thorough academic approach to how this Libya situation should be tackled. Please go and share the message on Facebook, on YouTube. Let's go and call people. We've got to listen to this and then be able to come up with our own policy and approach as Africans on how to view this global world and how to approach it, because from what I'm hearing now, it's not just the Libyans that are to blame for all this. The Europeans are perpetrators. And so these things, we must understand what is happening, and we must know how to talk to our people, that Europe is not our friend. That's the conclusion I'm coming to, the way I'm seeing things right now. Please go ahead, ma'am.
Now, players at international level. The players at international share of managing the Libya slave trade crisis comprise individual third countries, which have to or are being sensitized to action after the CNN broadcast footage on the crisis. Their roles which they are called to play include investigate the reports, make for a reconsideration of the EU-Libya agreement, repatriate victims, in particular unaccompanied and separated children and women into third countries, resettlement, family reunification, evacuation by the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees and IOM that run emergency facilities in other countries and or voluntary return as deemed appropriate, and world leaders to finance the repatriation, among others. There had also been protests in Ethiopia, even in Abuja, okay, by Charlie Boy's group. So now, we want to come on to the players at a national level. The players at national level. The other tier of player is the nation. The national players are the governments and their institutions. For Nigeria, it is the federal government of Nigeria and its relevant ministries and parastatals. To note, some of these are security and on welfare. To mention a few, the police, border institutions, social welfare, the jurisdiction, and transportation too. Each of these institutions has its own role to play in getting Nigerian detainees back into the country. At the same time, they need to cooperate their efforts and work fast to redress the ills through awareness, advocacy, and prevention. Their attempts have been much rhetoric than active involvement in redressing the ills in forms of awareness campaigns by the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, and the Nigerian Emergency Agency, NEMA. This should continue until the illicit trade stops. Also, the Senate has reacted in decrying the ills. Now to come to the main player, the Nigerian government. The Nigerian government's reaction can be gathered from President Buhari's speech at the 5th EU-African Union Summit in Côte d'Ivoire, when he said no religion advocated violence, that all religions advocate justice. Therefore, as justice is the basic thing, all religions demand evacuation and repatriation. Demand that evacuation and repatriation be pursued in more depth. This will translate into effective ways of curbing dislocating factors of insecurity caused by Boko Haram, which, by the way, is said to be partly armed by arms they got from Libya. The Fulani harassment, and in terms of revamping economic crisis in the country. For the latter, the government has to partner with corporate bodies in the provision of and maintenance of basic utilities for productive livelihood. That is in terms of education, health, electricity, water for domestic and economic uses, particularly in agriculture. So it should also diversify the economic structure that would enable the generation of good jobs in agriculture and mining, construction, manufacturing, transportation, communications and utilities, and wholesale and retail trade. Those are the blue-collar jobs. There is also the need to develop the skilled services in sectors of administrative, leisure, food and other services, educational services, financial activities, real estate, professional and management services, health services, and public administration. If the federal government addresses the issue of sustainable development in truth and in a passionate, determined manner, the broad vision of a hope for staying in Nigeria rather than checking out to unknown, unmapped, ill-guided forage outside its confines will be clearing, attracting, and real to pin down Nigerians within Nigeria for greater strides to victory and an assured future. Many of the above stated ways have been tackled and have been attempted with little achieved. Coming back to your question the other time. Why? The reasons are diverse. The willpower is lacking. The cancer worm of corruption is noticeable and dissuading the youth and general populace of any way out except the drastic purging, if not total wipe off of the echelon of grabbing politicians and their stooges. The same ill that is becoming glaring in Libya is rearing its ugly head in Nigeria: kidnapping, trafficking, and even slavery within and outside Nigeria in other countries. Also, lack of partnership with government for one reason or the other. In most cases, it is associated with corruption and bribery to get the partnership. Other factors are unwillingness to work hard only for Nigerian victims of Libyan slave trade to be known, as it were, as prodigal sons leaving the surplus at home for pig's food in Libya, which many of the survivors of the torture, dehumanized nature of the treatment they received in Libya wished. They refused the deceit of the greener pasture of Europe, which they never got to enjoy, but rather the detention in camps with no hope of getting out. Now I come to the individual community as the player. Now, individuals have been lured or have allowed themselves to be displaced, as it were, fleeing from frying pan to fire. Many were deceived into it, but some were accomplices, having lost all hope, thinking it is a do or die for one reason or the other. To stem the flow, therefore, would mean starting or addressing the crisis from the grassroots level. The solutions or attempts at this level will be put on hold since the victims of focus are the enslaved migrants to be set free or redeemed. Then I have my last point, which is on faith. Now, the prime solution. To crown it all, the 3 tiers of management need a driving force for effectiveness. This is clarifying the spirit that should be behind it all to make it effective, acceptable, and sustainable. It is allowing the divine its rightful place. Migration from the biblical perspective is a long time memorial process, dating to the foundation of the earth and will be until the end comes. The way migration has played out in the Bible shows the diverse dimensions of the process. Often, the divine aspect is played down in secular setting, but in reality, it forms the unseen but active factor of successful management in all forms of migrations, including the forced slavery nature of its own in Libya. If so, there is the need to borrow a leaf from how the divine player had managed forced migration in time past. A scenario that comes to mind is the slavery in Egypt of old and repatriation of the children of Israel from the bondage in terms of the nature, repercussion, and strategies involved. In short, there is the need to carry out what is needed to be carried out in the case of the Nigerian victims of the Libyan slave trade, the God way of manner for justice, truth, equity, righteousness, and community success to emerge. Thank you.
Very, very good paper. Wonderful job. Wonderful job. Wow. You really went into research to submit this. Now, with this way situation, did you get to listen or read the speech of the president, Mohamed Buhari?
Well, I got the summary.
You got the summary. So what? So you think that you said there is no willpower?
Yeah. To pursue really evacuating and resettling the people.
So you place the blame on the Nigerian government to a large extent?
Well, yes. But then, at the grassroots level, the individuals were deceiving and being deceived.
But they're just victims of deceit.
No. Some of them are aware now. There's so much work on the leaflets distributed by NAPTIP. There's so much on the social media that many would have been deterred. But instead, okay, they feel they can't stand it again. And they're still going. The volume is still on the increase. It's either that they are still caught midway, they've not yet arrived there, or they are still being deluded that, well, their own case will be different. So they are still going. By land, for that matter, also by the air, by sea, by all means of transportation. Think of. But here, we are talking about the impact of the land route, sea route to Italy or to any of the European countries.
Now, if what you said about EU and Italy is true, so it means that our government, the African Union and the Nigerian government and other African governments should be taking it up with the EU and the Italian government.
Yes. Because they, as it were, push it back, hit it back on the source region. But the source region is not Libya. They are coming from different angles of the continent. Sub-Saharan Africa, even Nigeria is not only the source, but it is also a transit country for those coming as far as the Congo. Okay, so it's all over Africa. So the AU, African Union, should really take it up much more.
No, but if the EU, what do you think? EU is giving money.
Yeah.
To Libya. Why is it that money is not channeled to the countries where these victims are coming from?
Now, that is also, first of all, it's a complex issue. EU is giving money into whose purse? There are many of these militia groups that are also claiming money. So even for what EU means the money to be spent, okay, there's so much diversion. And not only that, the EU should stop at the transit end, Libya, but whatever is to be done, because it's an international process dimension, okay, has to trickle back. It should not even be trickling back, because trickling, as it were, will reduce the volume, okay? But there should be also ways of assisting the source region. And the source region also knowing that, you cannot always be on the receiving end, because whoever is giving the donation, okay, will first of all think of how he will solve its own problem. And that's why the EU is trying to solve its own problem, not your own problem.
EU is trying to solve its own problem, not our own.
No. So that's the real thing.
But by solving their own problem, they are abating evil to some extent. Because they are creating a humanitarian calamity.
Yes.
So they should have to face the fact that they are a part of that evil that is happening right now in Libya.
Yes, that's why they have to go back to the drawing board. It's been happening for so long. How can you give Gaddafi money to keep, as it were, his own people? Are we also even recognized as being of Arab descent? Okay? So there are so many things that would have mitigated against Gaddafi, making the evacuating the people back to their source region.
But when Gaddafi was there, we didn't have such a crisis, did we?
Because it was not, people did not have access to know what happened in the detention camp. So they didn't know how it was worked.
And but that time it was just the detention camp. But now there are individuals taking people captive and selling them. So this is not just a matter of detention camp anymore.
That's why it has escalated and it's much more complex.
So I think, do you think right now, is there any negotiation going on between the African Union and the EU, maybe forming a committee or a commission, EU AU commission on trying to manage the situation?
Yes, I used to follow very closely before, but it's an annual event. Now this one has come to the surface in the past 2 months, or from August, okay? So it depends on what they will have on their agenda. But you need to address this as speedily as possible.
All right, so now the way things are right now, we started in our own situation, this $1 Libya challenge, initiative, or Libya challenge. So we tell people to go to gofundme.com/Libya One challenge and donate $1. Now, sometimes they tell them to donate $5. $5 is the minimum they could donate, but we just call it $1 challenge. So anybody can go and donate this $1, and then, but what we want to create is more awareness. We want everybody to challenge their friends and their relatives, and to call them forward to also call another 5 people. Everybody should invite 5 people and tell them to also invite another 5 people. But putting it on social media and putting the challenge out there for everybody to hear, so that we'll keep it out there. People will be talking about it, and then anybody who can afford $1 or $5 could go to gofundme.com/Libya One challenge and put in their $1 or $5. But so we are targeting $1 million. If we have $1 million, we want to be able to settle the issue from the source, from where these people are migrating from, and to try to give them alternative, or create jobs and things like that. So that is what we are trying to do from our own side of the equation. But that is what just my own initiative with my team. And what are you talking about? What will you say about that?
Yes. When I say at individual level, coming to the grassroots level, individuals to be players in resolving the problem. We've had some donors, individual donors. I think Econet businessman, I've forgotten his name, okay, also trying to create job. Okay, when Mayowa introduced the topic on Libya $1 initiative, okay, yes. He said you have it in mind to set up an academy,
yes,
create job, to do whatever you can do,
right,
so that home will be pleasant and sweet and hopeful for people to stay back. I think that's really what we need, to see what we can do from our own end. Not only the government, okay, that has so many things started on its own part, but what we can do as individuals to improve the situation back home. So that's why it's very important you are also involved. It's not just talk, but seeing what we can do to help our people to know that there's a future for them.
Now, from what you are saying, it's like it is clear that one of the greatest challenges that we're having, or our people are having, is the mindset. So
Yes.
our value system, because that's what when I asked you that in the beginning about this, why is it that the Nigeria you have now is different from the Nigeria that you had dreamt to have? And I told you also of the words of Professor Wale Soyinka that is disappointed and disillusioned that Nigeria has not done as well as he himself would have anticipated or something like that. So the question, the way you answer is that it's the value system, and that the people want a quick fix. Our people want a quick solution, and that's why I'm a journalist, like I said, but I'm very busy, and I've devoted my last 2 years to writing books, because I discovered that even when I'm gone, even if I'm not going to succeed in being able to create the kind of Africa exactly the way I want it to be, but one thing I could do is to write books about the solutions, and people could get these books and run with them. So one of the books that I have here that I think will really help our people is what you mentioned. I wrote a book on the dignity of labor, because you said our people must be taught on the dignity of labor. And that's what built Europe. And I've never seen a book on dignity of labor, but I wrote this one to synthesize our people so that they will begin to think differently. And so we are going to transport these books to Nigeria. We want to spread them in Nigeria, but we have them, of course, on Amazon, and we have them on my website, and people could get them from anywhere. But another thing we want to talk about these our people who are running to Europe is this book. No one is better than you. I want my people to know that no one is better than them. They can create the desired future for themselves right where they are. They can be the best. They can create Europe. And that's what I think that my generation challenge is having, that we will be able to convince our people that no, nobody is better than us. We can do as well as Europe has done. We can still create a better and a preferable country for ourselves. But this is our biggest challenge, the mountain of ignorance. My people are working and living in a lot of ignorance. And that ignorance is what we need to challenge. And even the educated ones who think that they're educated, we still face a lot of challenge with ignorance. And that's why what I've decided to do is to write books on every issue that I see is a problem in our society. For example, I wrote here that how to raise up the next generation of Bill Gates and Steve Jobs. That this next generation should come from Africa. We have a lot of young people, but what are the principles? And what are the principles behind us raising up this new generation, not going to America, not open on everybody else apart from ourselves? So that's why I wrote about that one. But if there is no way we could actually become raise up a Steve Jobs or Bill Gates if we don't know who we are. So I wrote a book that is called Who Am I? So, I'm trying to address in my own little way by writing all these books to address each problem that is in the society. Another one that I wrote here is called The Danger of Monoculturalism. This one should interest you because, monoculturalism is the ability of our people, the whole world, to embrace something, more than their own single culture or their ethnicity. And what we are seeing right now with Libya colonizing and imprisoning Africans, that is a problem of monoculturalism. It's one of the dangers there. And the same thing with the Europeans trying to keep Africans out is also one of the problems. So, but our people at the bottom line is this one, what you said, that we should teach our people to urgently become workaholics. So I wrote a book, and that's the way I call it, Why You Must Urgently Become a Workaholic. We must teach our people to love work, and to love research, and to work hard, and to believe that they can create everything with their own strength. And that, so I have a lot of books in this area. One is called Where There Is Problem, There Is Money. And there is another one here, it's called The Creative and Innovative Power of a Genius. And, discover your source of latent energy. So, and then how to use your time. There is one that's called What to Do with Your Time. Then this one is called How to Convert Time into Greatness. So I have a lot of these books here that I have decided, because before I was not thinking too much of Africa, but with all these problems that are coming out of Africa, I've decided to focus on Africa right now, because all this knowledge, they will be needed for my people. These are things I used to write for Europeans, for Americans, but now I feel that this book can really help our people to come out. We need to change our mindset. That's the bottom line. We need to change our value system. Yes, before any lasting change could come.
Yes, as you said in one of your books, ignorance is the biggest problem.
Is the biggest problem.
The case that really made me to be much more aware that it's not just the formal education that we need to be able to address this problem.
Yes.
There was a young lady, I think she was first year for OND in Polytechnic. And someone, either in the church or somewhere in the neighborhood, peddled this idea that people who are going abroad, that once they go abroad, they'll be sending back money. And because of the deception, the father got wind, hooked. You know what happened? He paid over 2,000 naira to get his daughter to follow this, will I call it trafficked? I think small good, okay? And then ahead of it, the route was to be from Nigeria, from Abuja to Cairo, and from there to Canada. Ahead of it, almost at the tail end, when the girl, for one reason or the other, they were delayed from taking off from Abuja. So I just said, what do you mean? This girl, less than 17 or less than 20, going to Canada, first of all, gets to the
Cairo.
Stop at Cairo, and from Cairo, get to Canada. That they should just call her to come back immediately. And that was how she back. I was asking. Cairo was in crisis at that time, I think about 6 years ago. Cairo was in crisis. What's the address you would be in Canada? You know, that type of circuitous journey to Canada. Canada, cold place. Does she have any address she could contact there? How do you contact her? All that. So that was how she came back. And for life, I know the Lord just intervened. The father now told us that they had to forget the 200,000, whatever. And the fellow who came to peddle, they never saw him, nor others who had been lured to give their daughters to his care. So, you know, this is something that we have to synthesize, the awareness, the ignorance. Very gullible for the father to let go the firstborn in the family. Now she has finished her HND. She's working. She will have a stable family in Nigeria. All that, even for educated people, okay, because of fear, because of deception. So there should be a way of really addressing the ignorance, in quotes. We know that some people are, agreeing to it. So it's not a question of being trafficked. But then they are agreeing based on different types of coercing them to come along. Edo case is there all over the country. So we need to do much work. First of all, to at least get as many out of that deception.
I think you're right. The deception is capturing our people just because of our ignorance. I think you have nailed it, that the biggest challenge is the ignorance of our people. Once we are able to re-educate and, sensitize the minds of our people and let them know the truth about life and give them the right principles, give them the right values to build on, then we'll be able to, it will be easier for them to be able to be discouraged to take such a risk of their lives and things like that. But, the speech you gave, is it possible for me to get it? Will you send it to me by email?
Okay, I'll type it and send.
Yes, I would really appreciate that because it's a great job, man. Thank you so much for your time. And, like for those people who wanted to get the books, who are asking where can you get the book, you go to my blog, SundayAdelajablog.com/books, or you just write by email, write to dssbooks dsxbooks@gmail.com, dsxbooks@gmail.com, or on Amazon or Okada Books. Or if you are in Nigeria, there is a lady we call there is this lady we call Shioma in Nigeria, and if you get a number, she will be able to help you get these books as well. So anyway, that's where we are for now. I want to thank Professor for being with me. You've done a great job. We appreciate your time. Thank you so much for contributing. It will go a long way to bring in some sanity and solution to our situation with our brethren in Libya. Thank you so much. Because I have to come back in the next 30 minutes to have our live broadcast again. So we have to end now. God bless you, man.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. God bless you. Have a wonderful day. Bye.
Same to you. Bye.